After the massive success of the original Pro Skater, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 was released a year later on September 20th, 2000 for the PlayStation, with ports to other consoles and home computers coming sporadically throughout the next year. One such port was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X for the original Xbox, which basically combined the first two Pro Skaters into one package. Unfortunately, my 360's disc tray is sort of kaput, so I can only talk about it, I can't play it. Pro Skater 2 was met with great acclaim and success beyond its predecessor, with high scores and critical praise all around. The PlayStation version of the game has a rating of 98 out of 100 on review aggregating site Metacritic, and is currently the second highest rated game of all time on the site, only behind The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. However, my PlayStation version is a bit messed up, so I can't actually play it, so I'm going to be looking at the Dreamcast version, which is ranked number 11 on Metacritic's Best Games of All Time list, so that counts for something, right? So let's see if Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 stacks up to the original. The premise for Pro Skater 2 is pretty much the same as it was in the original, though with significant modification. You still go level by level, completing goals within a 2-minute time limit, but instead of there only being 5 goals per level, each rewarding a tape, this time there are 10 per level, which give you various amounts of cash. Small amounts of cash can also be found in these levels. Earn enough cash and you can move on to the next level. Every few levels, there's a competition stage where you have 1 minute to impress the judges. After 3 heats of 1 minute, you earn a medal and a lump sum of cash depending on where you place. Gameplay-wise, I can't explain it, but Pro Skater 2 feels much better to me than the first game did in terms of control. It feels much more fluid, and the addition of the manual to string together larger combos helps a hell of a lot. My only real gripe is the lack of camera control, but that only gets in my way every so often for a brief moment, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm starting to see why longtime fans see Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 as the pinnacle of the franchise. It built on the foundations of Pro Skater 1 enough to make a much more enjoyable experience for the player. I have, however, had my frustrations with this game. I've spent well over 30 minutes to an hour in single stages restarting the timer when I screw something up, even just slightly, so that I can get a more perfect run. I was shaking with frustration trying to get 6 score goals on Venice, and resetting whenever I bailed it all in the competition levels lest I lose a lot of points with the judges. Maybe that's just me though. I had my grip really tight on the controller, I was swearing through clenched teeth. It was awful, that's probably not healthy. You can even get more personal with how you play the game thanks to Create a Skater, where you, what else, make your own skater. Your options aren't that limited at first, but you're able to unlock more boards and boost your middling stats with the money you acquire in career mode. There's also the park editor, which I didn't really mess around with that much. I'm no good with level design, but it's cool to see where this feature of the franchise started. The level design of this game is a step up from the original 2 for the sole reason that there are no race to the end sort of levels like the mall or downhill jam. However, a fair number of the levels here feel a bit too similar to some from the original Pro Skater. The hangar, your starting level, is basically just warehouse with a bit of extra space. School 2 borrows the same motif of the first game's school, though thankfully it has a drastically different layout, so I'm not bothered all that much by this one. And New York City not only has the same motif as downtown, but a somewhat similar structure. Okay, I know it's a bit nitpicky to go off on all these levels, but in all fairness, they do offer a bit more to do and are a bit more interesting. So long as the last level before you need all of the money to progress isn't barren and dull, I'll be good. Really, Neversoft? Are you kidding me? Okay, maybe I'm being too harsh. Philadelphia is a significant improvement over San Francisco. It's not as empty, I can actually complete some goals, and it's pretty nice to look at, but it's still a bit empty and skater unfriendly. The overall gameplay and level design are much better than the original Pro Skater, and the presentation? Yeah, that got better too. Thanks to the power of the Dreamcast, Pro Skater 2 looks incredibly clean, and if you're using VGA cables with the console, the colors just pop. You don't have problems with draw distance either, which is certainly a major plus. The music choices here are also pretty good. We have songs from Rage Against the Machine, Power Man 5000, Bad Religion, and of course, we have Lagwagon's May 16th, probably the definitive song in this game. Good old punk, hard rock, and a bit of hip-hop mixed in there gives us a soundtrack that has since been a staple of the Tony Hawk series. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 is a true classic from the tail end of the 5th generation, and definitely something that's worth picking up. I'm just upset about the ludicrous curve of requirement to get to the last level, but thankfully, I got a cheat code. I beat the system! I got all the things! No way.
Hey everyone.
Yep, Spider-Man is a secret character in this game, complete with some of his own tricks. Activision had the rights to Spider-Man games at the time, and Neversoft were the developers of a recent Spider-Man game, so they decided to throw the webhead in there as a promotion for the upcoming Spider-Man 2, Enter Electro. Honestly though, since Civil War is just around the corner, I'm thinking this is a sign. Yeah, a sign, but a sign of what? Oh man, I love Spider-Man, he's one of my favorite superheroes. I can't wait for Civil War. I need a fix. That fucking cliffhanger. Ugh. There's no more Spider-Man to watch. Suppose I could watch the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but... Nah, fuck that shit. Those movies are garbage. Especially the Amazing Spider-Man 2, just... Oi, what a mess. Wait a minute. There's Spider-Man games, aren't there? Video games, like the kind I put on this show, but... Which ones do I have? Oh man, this game was great. But I feel like it'd be disrespectful to Tom Holland. Tried it before. Really hard for me with the controls, and voice acting is just awful. Web of Shadows. The symbiote suit. Switch freely between red suit and black suit? Side with heroes or villains? I think I found my Spider-Man game.